The Court of Appeal in Abuja has set aside a decision of the Federal Capital Territory High Court which nullified the candidacy of Adeleke as the flag bearer of the People's Democratic Party, the PDP, in Osun State. The court, in a judgment on Thursday, said that the lower court was wrong in its decision to nullify Mr. Adeleke's candidacy when the evidence before the court proved that Mr. Adeleke had met the constitutional requirements for the election. According to the Court of Appeal, the testimony of the principal who spoke regarding Mr. Adeleke's certificate proved that he had met the constitutional requirements for that very elections. Wale Oluwade is a strategy advisor to Senator Ademola Adeleke. He joins us from our Abuja studios. We also still have with us in Abuja Emmanuel Anene, also a lawyer. I want to thank you, Mr. Oluwade, for joining us at this time. But what does this mean to you? Because this is what we know. The appellate court faulted that decision of the FCT High Court, which it said appeared to have been given without due considerations, in the court's words, to the principal's testimony. What is your understanding of that?
Thank you, Gimba. Good evening, Nigerians. Before answering your question, let me just give a background to this sordid saga. Why did
you have the time for the background, unless we just be here and then you waste all the time? My question to you is that what we know is that the appellate court has faulted this decision of the High Court, and what does it mean to you, knowing that the consideration of the principal's testimony was said not to have been taken into consideration? What's your understanding of that?
My understanding is that, I mean, the court, I mean, the lower court in Abuja, in Buhari, there was no need for that case to have been brought there in the first place, you know, because at the very least there are about 5 high courts in Osun State where this case could have been heard, you know. So the desperate individuals that instituted this action, this court action, you know, they were only aiming to achieve a particular objective, which is to criminalize an innocent man, Senator Nuruddin Adeleke, you know, confer on him the toga of a convict. Thereby, eventually, if he does win at the Supreme Court in the substantive appeal, you know, he would be unable to assume office as the governor of Osun State. That is, you know, exactly what is at issue, you know, because this matter, I mean, according to the appeal court, this matter was already started bad because it's a pre-election matter, was meant to have been heard 14 days, you know, and then they instituted this court case 44 days thereafter, so it was a nullity. Secondly, I mean, this the judgment of the Buhari court, you know, was delivered 208 days, you know, whereas the Electoral Act stipulated for 180 days. You know, and thirdly, on the weight of the evidence, I mean, the respondents, the guys who instituted this case, you know, subpoenaed, I mean, the principal of Senator Adeleke's, you know, high school, and then WAEC, and the WAEC, you know, tendered evidence, and the high school, you know, submitted the testimonial, confirming that yes, they issued this document, that the senator did not alter or forge, you know, this document, but the judge, in his own wisdom, you know, because he was acting a script as instructed, you know, as given to him by his paymasters, you know, jettisoned.
But just hold on there. Hold on there. You know, only if you can prove that this is a script that is being played out. You may not have to say that at the moment. But let me get the views of Mr. Anene. It's not the first time, as he has complained, it's not the first time that cases are taken out of their jurisdiction. Why has this persisted even in this case?
Yeah, Gimba, once again, I have a line of thought before you cut me off the other time. Then let me just briefly say it and go into this matter. Now, Mr. President gave us that first speech in 2015. That time, Nigeria was the first investment destination in Africa. He took Nigeria to recession. That time, we were number 4 terrorist index. He took us to number 3. Now, Nigeria has remained despondent. Most Nigerians are committing suicide. So, Mr. President needed to give us new direction in this administration. That, having said that, if you read section 177 of the Constitution, it provided for the requirements you will meet for you to qualify to contest the office of the governor. He said you must be a Nigerian citizen by birth, you must attain the age of 35 years, then you must be sponsored by political party, and thirdly, you must have certificate, you must have qualification up to school certificate. Now, Section 318 of the Constitution interpreted what it means. He said it means secondary school certificate, or grade 2 teacher certificate, or guidance certificate, or education up to secondary school level, or primary school certificate, or if you have worked in either formal or informal sector satisfied to INEC, or if you can speak English to the satisfaction of INEC. These are the requirements to become a governor in Nigeria. So if you read this constitutional requirement, there was no need for people to drag Senator Adeleke to court on the ground of qualification.
My question to you is, why have cases been taken out of their jurisdiction to Abuja?
You see, it's not in my position to advise lawyers who take the case out of a territorial jurisdiction to another jurisdiction. But it is for court. It is for court before which that case is pending to determine whether it has territorial jurisdiction or not. Anybody can go and file frivolities anywhere in Nigerian court, but it is for court to decide. We cannot stop any lawyer or anybody from filing case anywhere. But once that case is filed, and the court will go through the process and see that it has no territorial jurisdiction, it will hands off the case. That's the normal thing. Then if you have no jurisdiction to decide the case, you have no also jurisdiction to make order with respect to that case. And that is what the judge, in his infinite wisdom, decided otherwise. But good a thing that Senator Adeleke appealed, and Court of Appeal has overturned the judgment. That is democracy, and that is rule of law at play. I'm not going to blame the lawyer that filed the process. Why are you taking it outside this decision? Maybe for any gratification or not. I'm not interested in that line of argument. I'm also interested in the fact that if you file any faulty process before any court in Nigeria, the court must first of all, because the issue of jurisdiction will always be raised, the court will first of all determine whether it has jurisdiction to entertain the matter.
Okay.
If it has no jurisdiction to entertain the matter,
let's switch over to Mr. Oluwade. What does this mean for Senator Adeleke and Boyega Oyetola? Because a lot of people are concerned that this may also extend, and perhaps we may be seeing this case at the Supreme Court. What does it mean for Senator Adeleke, since you're his strategist?
Yeah, what this means for Senator Adeleke is that, I mean, as it is currently, his reputation has remained burnished. His reputation is intact, because this is a man at least 60 years old, and this desperate individual has just decided in their own wisdom that all they needed to do was to confer on him the toga of a convict, thereby rendering him unable or incapable of assuming the exalted office of the governor of Osun State. If you understand, Gimba, what is at play here, there's a lot that has gone down in Osun State. Do you know Osun State is one of the highest indebted states in Nigeria? And if you go to Osun State, you cannot find anything on ground. So there are desperate people who do not want Senator Adeleke to retrieve his stolen mandate and assume governorship position in Osun State. But we are waiting for the Supreme Court, decision in this substantive matter. But as a system, because of this verdict from the appeal court, we're excited, we're glad, that an innocent man, has gotten, judgment, affirming his innocence, his credibility has been restored back to him, from those whose ultimate objective was to tarnish his reputation, make him look in the eyes of those who voted for him in Osun State as a criminal. The man is not a criminal.
You also know that perhaps it's a little too early to judge, because from the fillers, this may also be heard at the Supreme Court. So until that comes on the way, we'll be waiting and watching very closely to see how all of that pans out at the end of the day. But I must thank you, Mr. Wale Oluwade, the strategy advisor to Senator Ademola Adeleke, as well as Emmanuel Anene is also a legal practitioner. Thank you both, gentlemen, for talking to us from our Abuja studios. And to you for being part of the show. Thank you so much indeed for watching, wherever you are in Nigeria and the rest of the world. I am Gimba Umar. This is State of the Nation. Bye for now.